Now we have another technical session on mitigating phishing with FIDO. So the speaker for this session is a principal engineer at Target. His specializations include FIDO, contextual risk, zero trust, threat modeling, and more. He holds a bachelor's degree from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, is CEH certified. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Manish Khedawat.
Hey folks, this is Manish. I'm principal engineer at Target. My primary role is to help build next generation cybersecurity solutions at Target. I have been part of Target's FIDO journey since day one, driving its technical aspects, which is what we are going to talk about today. I hope when you go back to work next week, you have something to discuss from this talk. Let's get started. Giving some insights about my team. Enterprise authentication at Target caters secure login experience for all Target applications. 2,000 plus apps, 500K plus team members at HQ stores and partners all across the globe. We support all kinds of popular authentication methods, be it passwords, biometric, PIN, conditional MFA with the 𝗘𝗃𝗲𝗽, push, security keys, and also barcode scans. Scale-wise, we see 2.3 million daily application login and around 11K account operations. For any authentication team, one of the biggest challenges is phishing. If a bad actor is able to manipulate a user and obtain their credentials, it gets very hard to differentiate between legitimate user and bad actor in digital world. Let's talk some stats on phishing. Did you know that every 78 out of 100 orgs saw an identity-related cyber attack in past 1 year? And 39 times out of 100, it was phishing. They say hackers are no longer trying to break in, they log in. And year per year, there is alarming rise. So just like any other org, we had to find ways to deal with it. We started looking. The search at Target started a few years back. We had some criteria. First was simple. Any solution we introduced had to be easily understood by team members and us. We had spent fair amount of time doing our architecture simplifications, and we did not want to do circles back. Another thing was it had to be an open standard with active community engagements and wider industry acceptance so that we could just plug in into any platform and use cases and need not worry much about maintainability in the future. Next was seamless. Less frictions for users basically, maybe biometrics. Even though security was primary, we did not want to lock down convenience in the basement. If there are too many steps, adoption won't be high. This is obvious. Our solution had to be resistant to various cyber attacks, especially the phishing, and this was non-negotiable. So basically, we had this, and we were trying to fill in the green rows. I'll just take a pause to let you digest information on the screen. Good? Okay. So where did we land? At FIDO. FIDO stands for Fast Identity Online. It's a coin given by it's a protocol coined by FIDO Alliance, which is an open industry association with a mission to reduce reliance on passwords. USP to us was phishing resistant. In cyber world, weakest link is user. Most of compromises happen in heat of the moment. And FIDO solves that problem by introducing credentials per domain. What that means is, if a threat actor is able to manipulate a user to go to, let's say, targetx.com instead of target.com, the login won't work because there is no credential for targetx.com. FIDO requires user to be present physically near the system. So remote attack is out of the window. In next slide, we'll see how FIDO uses public key cryptography and there is no sensitive information on the application server. Authentication based on unique challenge per transaction, so there is no replay. And last but not the least, it can utilize local biometric authentication, so UX is seamless too. Let's do a visual on how it actually works. So it starts with enrolling a device for a domain. So user would say, hey, I want to enroll. The relying party or aka FIDO server will say, sure, here is a unique challenge and some metadata, just sign with it. Now browser will pass that information to authenticator, which could be on-device biometrics or locally connected security key. And then say, hey, create credentials for 𝗙𝗫𝗁. Now, the authenticator will create public-private key pair, sign that challenge with private key and send it back to the server. Oh. Okay, animations. Okay. Ideally, the key should be going to the relying party, the server side, right? So some issue with the animation. So end of the enrollment, the public key will be at the server, which is not really a secret, as the name suggests. Private key, the red one, will stay on the device, will never leave the device. Sorry? Okay. We will never leave the device. And since enrollment is domain specific, the role of browser is very critical. And rest is all simple. During authentication, user would say, hey, I want to log in. FIDO will say, hey, here's the challenge, sign it. Browser will say, do we have private key for 𝗙𝗫𝗁? If yes, sign and send back, and login will be successful. So we were kind of able to fulfill what we wanted. So FIDO is something you know or something you are, depending on what you are using. Okay, and it can only be used on the device which was used for registration. So something you have one touch, it's not guessable, not phishable, and cannot be replayed. Now let me walk you through how we implemented FIDO at Target. It all started with our internal hackathon event, where in innovation spirit, we implemented FIDO to prototype server with USB keys as step-up authentication method. Our timing synced with Chrome's Touch ID rollout for FIDO on Mac. So naturally, that became our next milestone. And this was game changer because we were entering into a new territory where we saw this as an alternative to passwords, which was MFA in itself. So we started investing on this path very heavily. We implemented attestations. Now, attestation is unique to device model. It can be used to cryptographically prove that user has certain model. How does that help? Well, you can restrict an authenticator based on its authentication capabilities, connection capabilities, or certification levels by leveraging metadata from FIDO Alliance. Metadata is a storehouse which has all the information about a FIDO certified authenticator, which could be like certification levels, root certificate chains, authentication, and connection capabilities we talked. At this point, we had fully functional FIDO server. So we started working towards building trust and confidence. So getting formally certified by FIDO became our next goal. The first step to certification was conformance tests. A UI tool was provided to us, which was used to validate if our server meets certain criteria. Just want to introduce one key term, passkey. In previous slides, we talked about like a FIDO credential, which is device bound. So a new type of credential was introduced to solve scalability issue, which was called passkey. It's a password replacement that's safer, faster, and easier to use. And it can sync to the sync fabric of the respective passkey provider, which could be iCloud, Google Password Manager, or any third-party cloud maintained by a passkey or credential provided, like LastPass and all. I will do a fast forward. Time is the issue. Okay. Okay. Just wrapping up, right? Phishing is real. It is one of the top threats everybody experience. Acknowledge that passwords are no longer safe and react accordingly. If you are any user, adopt passkeys. Try to use it any favorite site you get a chance. Be aware that if you're using passkeys and at some point you see password prompt, make sure you double check if you're visiting a legit website. If you are into defense, keep eyes over passwordless. Implement all the protocols you would want for passwords, right? Be aware when you see a sudden rise in uses of passwords or a device is reported as compromised, you probably want to delete respective passkey as well. If you're an enterprise, adopt, promote, and educate. Empower your support center so that they can help adopt passkeys, and at end of the day, it can help reduce your operation cost because less passwords and less incidents for password reset. Thank you. I guess no time, so no Q&A as well.
Yeah, thank you for that, sir. So any questions?
Do you have a current use case wherever this FIDO is running successfully? Because how better it is if you actually compare with the YubiKey, the hard token, or the MFA? Because most of the organizations, they're either relying on the YubiKey or MFA as of now.
Yes. So I think we already have a lot of public implementation. Gmail is one. GitHub is one. At Target, we have it live for, I think, 2 years now. Right, so yeah, there are multiple public implementation. I think the banking sector may be waiting for the RBI guidelines, but in US, if you see a recent release from NIST, even they have supported the use of passkeys in various forums.
Do we get a copy of this PPT? Because most of the information has been missed, especially in the password.
You can reach out to me, I can share, or maybe from BSides.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm not very sure. Thank you.